All right, I wanted to do a review of this bike before I put it away for the season, but this is my daughter's fat bike. I got into fat bike riding or winter cycling last year, and this year my daughter wanted to come out with me, so I want her to ride with me, so we had to get her a bike. And there wasn't a lot available. There certainly weren't a lot of reviews on children's fat bikes, but I figured I did find one. There's a couple companies in Quebec that sell kids' fat bikes. You can find one online on Amazon, but they all have different features. So the reason I picked this one was because of there were specific things that were ideal for my daughter. So one of the things was this frame is aluminum. The rims are aluminum. I believe the hub is steel, but it's a no-name hub. The crank arms were very short. Those are the things that came to mind. I did have to change some things with the bike so it better accommodated my daughter. So one of the things was the seat bracket. So this seat bracket's actually flipped upside down, and I'm forgetting the word. The seat post is pushed all the way into the frame so that there's really just an inch of gap there. This is so my daughter, who's around 4 feet tall, can pedal this bike, because right at its lowest height, she's on her tippy toes trying to balance the bike. The other things that I did was changing the handlebars. So I needed some handlebars with some rake on them. So I took some mountain bike bars and just cut them down significantly and put them on the bike. The ones that were on there were straighter, which would cause my daughter to reach more, so her arms aren't that long. So just like little comfort things to make changes. The other thing that I like about this was the gearing. So there's a very tall gear on this free hub. This is a free hub too, by the way, not a cassette. So this wheel will only have this many. It'll only have this many gears, just because we have the free. Was it the freewheel? The free hub works. You can't change it like a cassette. Anyway, so it had a very tall gear. So when you're riding in snow, being able to kind of crawl or pedal slowly is an advantage. The component set was Shimano. That was something that was important. I'm just trying to think of other things that I changed. I should mention. So this is a Damco Bicycles Snowbeast 20-inch. I covered it up with tape. This is just something I do for padding, and so you don't have a cold frame against your legs if you're kind of rubbing against the side of the leg or side of the top of the post there, the top tube. So this is a Damco Bicycles Snowbeast 20-inch. The tires are no-name Chow Yang tires, but they are 20 by 4 inch. One of the other things that I changed on this bike, so it actually says Damco there, but it's Damco Bicycle Company. The thing that I changed on this bike is I put a kickstand on it. There is no place to mount a kickstand, but you can get chainstay kickstands that will hold the kickstand. The other thing too was I changed these are inner tube tires, and they had the traditional inner tubes in them. And as part of making sure to buy a bike with an aluminum frame was to take those inner tubes out and replace them with TPU tubes. So I replaced these tires with TPU tubes and did the front and the backs. So just, again, trying to reduce the weight as much as possible to help small riders. The other thing too is, because it's for a child, the brake levers were too big for a child to grab them. So these are specifically mountain bike brake levers for small hands. So you can see the pivot point is way down here. but it allows my daughter to actuate the brakes when she's wearing gloves, which is like it was too big without gloves, and with gloves it was impossible. So switching the brake levers was a big thing for the child. The other thing too was it used to have a grip shifter. So again, like went to a full size grips. These are just BT Win grips, it's no name grips, but a mega shift, 7-speed shifter. I wouldn't recommend this shifter, mainly because when you're riding in the winter and you have gloves on, it's very hard for a kid to actuate these gears. And I actually have a better gear shifter I'm going to put on this bike. Here, let me go grab it for a second. All right, I'm back. So I'm going to take off this thumb shifter, or the trigger shifter, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to replace it with this. This is much easier for a kid to actuate and less complicated, especially with gloves on. This is not something I expected, but something I learned as my daughter was learning to ride the bike. Was it's difficult for kids to shift, and they really only want to stay in one gear, which kind of ruins the experience. So trigger shifters, not great for kids. Get something like an index shifter, that'll be much better for them. But yeah, overall, very happy with the bike. It's big for my daughter now, who's in grade 2, or about 7 years old, about 4 feet tall. But there's plenty of room for her to grow with the bike, so I'll probably get 3 or 4 years out of it before she grows out of the 20-inch bikes and wants to go to, I don't know, 24 or 26, whatever comes after that. But yeah, the Damco Snowbeast 20-inch, we like it. We're excited to ride with her again next season. I'm going to clean this one up and put it away. But yeah.